due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8, which is the public access channel, and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen, or calling 978-772-8252 prior to the meeting and talking to Tim Silva. All right, so just for the record, Tim, did you receive any calls from anybody?
Did I receive any calls from anybody today?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to participate by calling in or something.
I think we've got everybody on we were expecting.
Okay, thank you. And I just ask everybody if they make a motion just to identify themselves for the record. And so I'll call the meeting to order. I've got the agenda here. Thank you, Tim, for preparing that and getting that magic language on there. And Cindy Knox, I'm sure, helped out too. So acceptance of the agenda. Has everybody got a copy of the agenda? Do I hear a motion to accept it?
A motion to accept it.
Okay, thank you, Becky. Second by Deborah. Okay, so we're going to do a roll call vote. I'll call, and I'm not going to do it by any particular order here, except following the order. Becky Campiner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Cindy Lavin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Cindy. Deborah Faust Clancy, how do you vote?
Aye.
Liddy Joseph Gray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sharon Solosky, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sue Kennedy, how do you vote?
Aye.
All right, Bob Gardner votes aye. Any negatives? No negatives, no abstentions. So it passes unanimously. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so now next item on the agenda is public comment. We do welcome comments from the public. That would be somebody who's not a board member, perhaps a library employee, or perhaps a town citizen, or just an interested party. Do we have any public attendees that want to say anything? Now is the opportunity.
Excuse me, Bob, I just noticed that there's someone on the call that is the from the Lancaster Ledger.
Lunenburg.
I'm sorry?
Lunenburg?
Lunenburg, sorry.
Yeah. Hi, out there in TV land. Anybody there from Lunenburg want to identify themselves? Oh, Laurie Sapal, is it?
No, there's a person from the newspaper somewhere on the line, but I don't know who they are. I'm just warning everybody that there's...
All right, well, thank you. You know, if there's a reporter out there and you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt. All right, so the next item, since there's no public comment, approval of the minutes from the meeting on November 12th. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? Everybody get a copy?
So moved, Sharon.
Sharon, second. Anybody?
Becky, seconds.
Second, thank you. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. A call for a roll call vote again. Becky, we'll start with you, please.
Aye.
Okay, then Cindy Lavin.
Aye.
Deborah Faust Clancy.
Aye.
Lydia Joseph Gray.
Aye.
Sharon Solosky.
Aye.
Sue Kennedy.
Aye.
Bob Gardner votes aye. Any negatives? Hearing none. Any abstentions? Hearing none. Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you all very much. Okay, now the next item on the agenda is announcements, Wi-Fi hotspots. Do we have Barbara Turney on, Tim?
We do.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Okay, why don't we take Miss Turney out of order if nobody has any objection, because she's kind enough to attend our meeting and at our request to answer some questions. So if nobody minds, I'll take you out of order. Is that okay, Miss Turney?
Bob,
I'm open to whatever you guys want to do. That's fine.
Well, listen, you're the town treasurer, so we want to take you out of order and get you
Oh,
get
thank
you back to your supper table or wherever. Okay?
you.
Bob,
Yeah.
we also have our CPA Cindy Thomas on in case there's any questions.
Oh yes. Hey, thank you.
What we've been doing to.
Okay, Cindy Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, Bob. How are you?
Okay. I don't see you, but welcome aboard, and thanks very much for being here. Okay. So we were going to, I guess, listen to a presentation from the town treasurer, Miss Tierney, about the 501c3 situation, or essentially how the town, how the library could come under the auspices of the town treasurer, at least for holding the funds. Is that a correct statement, Tim?
Yes. I mean, we invited Barbara here to just give everybody a chance to, ask questions about how this might work. And I did email just some general thoughts that I had, questions that I thought the board might be interested in learning the answers to Barbara earlier today. But if she has any general thoughts that she would like to share before questions, I would welcome her to do so at this point.
All right, I did print that out as general questions, but I'm having the dickens of a time reading here.
Maybe,
So-
yeah.
Go
Bob,
ahead.
if I could ask Barbara, are there? I'm assuming there are other situations where the treasurer's office is, providing sort of a similar service for other funds in town. Is that correct?
Yes, so we hold the scholarship funds here. We have a board of trustees for the scholarship funds, and I do hold those funds
Okay.
for them.
And I guess, I think some folks may be more familiar with, with the process or, why it's a good idea for your office to hold these funds as opposed to them being in a bank. But I wonder if you could just maybe highlight some of the, just some of the benefits in terms of, security for those funds and that sort of thing for everybody's benefit.
The funds could still be in a bank or an investment bank.
Okay.
That doesn't change. It would just be, we would administer those bank accounts for you. So for example, with the scholarship funds, I hold them. We hold them at the scholarship board has chosen to hold them at Bartholomew, which is a municipal, widely used investment company. So they do things on our behalf like CDs and market investments. That's what the scholarship trust funds have chosen to do. And what we do is we attend a meeting. They only have to meet once a year, maybe twice, because how they do it is they're approving the scholarships that are giving out at the school every year. But they have a public meeting. They vote on what scholarships and how much to be awarded. And they provide permission ahead of time. So that's how they work. And then the school at the end of the year gives the graduates, and then I get a list of who has been awarded the scholarship. So I have permission ahead of time from the board to do that. So it would work the same way. I'd be glad to put the money in savings, CDs, checking. I see no reason to change the type of accounts that they're in unless the board of commissioners the library board wants to. So what would change is I would then know the treasurer would be on the signer on the account. The accounts would be under the town's tax ID. So it would be considered municipal funds instead of a 501c3. I did check with the CPA, and it was my understanding that donations are still, viable to get a receipt, able to get a receipt. And I was told it is up to the CPA doing each person's taxes on whether any donation is considered a write-offable situation, but in general, they are. And Cindy, if you want to chime in on that, the CPA to confirm, or if you have a different opinion, please let me know.
I agree that 501c3 is tax deductible, and so is municipal contributions
Yeah,
too.
that was the information I received.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree with that.
great. So the way things would basically work, I'm not familiar yet with how much activity the trust funds for the library have. But I would assume there's a process when you are approving something to be paid out, that you have a meeting, the board must vote. Assuming it's a public meeting like this, and then you can then pay something out. I would say it would work the same way. And you would just, after you do all your normal pre-approval process for something to get paid out, Tim could then just bring me that information here to town hall, and it would just go through the normal warrant process of us cutting a check for you. And so what I do with the trust funds, for example. Oh, go ahead.
How long does that process take?
So we run an accounts payable warrant every other week. I do have the ability to do manual checks. So in the event there is a last minute decision on something, once the information is provided, I can do manual checks. We try not to do them often, but there is that ability. If in between the 2 weeks, there's something that is needed on a timely manner. So for example, with the scholarship committee, what I do is, as the scholarships letters are sent to me with whatever documentation each scholarship requires, I run it through the accounts payable warrant. And then I take the money from the scholarship account, and there's a separate account for each scholarship trust, and I reimburse the town, which is all pre-approved. So with the library, my thoughts are that if there's something that happens on a more, if it's more active and things happen on a more regular basis, it would just be approved at whichever meeting is happening at that time. And my thought is that Tim could then send the documentation, or come see me, provide the documentation, and we can either run it through the AP warrant, or if there's an issue with timeliness, I'd be glad to do a manual check. And then it would be the same thing. I would have to just take that money out of whatever account we've designated and replenish the town.
Okay, thank you, Barbara.
So Tim, some of your questions I thought were great, Tim. So maybe if Barbara could answer some of Tim's questions.
Sure.
I think you already have, Barbara, at least in terms of, the disposition of the accounts, in that, they can remain in interest-bearing, accounts in a bank, or, wherever.
Yeah, and the interest would be credited directly to, so we would set up what we call GL accounts on the accounting software. Mm-hmm. And every month that interest would be get credited to the library specifically. We do the same thing for the trust funds. Each individual trust fund gets credited their monthly earnings directly to it. So that would remain happening. And let me look at some of the other questions.
It's like setting up a new fund, or,
Oh, yes. So if you are establishing a fund, if you're, say, running a fundraiser, or looking for donations, all we have to do is be notified. So Tim, once you get that information from your board, you could send me and the accountant an email letting us know we'd like a donation account set up for Project X. And then depending on the size of the project, you may choose just to have that money go into an existing account you already have. Or if it's going to be a larger project, we could always set up a new checking or savings or whatever account and have it separated out. It would depend on your needs.
Okay. would it be up to the board? I mean, just thinking in terms of how the money gets into the account.
So I would administer that for you. So how it works for all other departments that take in any sort of revenue is we do something called a treasurer's turnover. And so when the revenue's coming in, I would just, Tim, it would probably be you, I'm guessing, but that's up to the board and you guys, whoever wanted to do that, I'd be glad to provide a spreadsheet we use here for revenue, and the money gets turned over to me. I sign off on it and verify it. You keep a copy of the turnover, and then I deposit the money on your behalf. And then when you need to expend money, you go through your normal approval process, and then you would send that approval documentation to me. So if it's an invoice with, whatever minute meetings or however you approve invoices, and then we would send it through the accounts payable warning process.
Can I just clarify something, Tim?
Sure.
We can still just have you go ahead and submit your normal contractual invoices to the town the way we've been doing it, yes or no?
For paying our regular bills?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't change at all.
Yeah, that money
That's
just
separate.
comes out of it comes out of the separate operating budget. So, yeah.
So this would just be for over and above checks that we want to do
Right.
something.
Yeah, this would just be for your trusts that you hold, or the type. I haven't seen the types of bank accounts that you have yet, but it would just be for those type of things that are separate from the normal day to day.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
This is Bob Gardner, Mr. Attorney. I just want to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
We've got a myriad of accounts set up already, and some of them are scholarship funds like the Janet Sherwin, Judge Lyman Clark. There's an account in the name of Johnny Moore and I think Zelda Moore, and also I'm probably the only person that really can say that they actually knew all those people. So they mean a lot to me to remain independent and autonomous and segregated. I mean, at some point, I'm sure that they'll all get merged together in a not too distant future. But you wouldn't mind keeping the integrity of these funds in separate accounts, even though it's going to be more paperwork for you?
So not at all. So unfortunately I don't have screen sharing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can see. So I have this account with a company called Bartholomew, and these are all trust funds account, and they each have their own dollar amount and their own allocation every month. So can you do it that way, or we can do it in individual savings accounts? I'm willing to do however you want. I wouldn't actually recommend combining them because they do need, a lot of them have various base principal amounts. And you want the proper earnings to be allocated to each trust.
All right, thank you. The reason I checked, I had cataract surgery today. So even if I had that piece of paper in front of me, I probably couldn't see it.
I'm sorry, I thought of it last minute because what I do is
don't worry about it. Don't
we
worry
have
about it.
it's about 15 trust funds that are, for the school, and they each individually have their own account.
Yeah, that's good. All right, thank you. Anybody else have any questions of Ms. Turney?
Barbara, I have one more question about just sort of if we have someone who wants to make a donation, like through an electronic transfer of funds, or they want to say, well, can I donate with my credit card or something like that? How do we? I mean, is that something that the board would have to set up with another, like a third party payment processor, or could it be done through the town?
So we do have a third-party bank that we already use for anybody making payments online. Or we can also provide eventually when we reopen, a credit card swiper. So it just attaches to a computer, but people can make donations via an e-check or credit card or debit card. There is a fee associated because it's between the bank and the resident. We don't keep any of their credit card information. So it goes through a secure portal called Unibank. And that's who the town uses for all other departments. So what I could do, Tim, is set one up for you.
Mhm.
You would, they can set a menu item and a hyperlink that you can have on your website page. And when people make donations, Tim, you would get an email notifying you, and I would give you access and a username, and you would have your own department. So you could print a report every month and see all your donations that way. And then what you would do is that would go directly into one of our bank accounts that are set up, and you would do a turnover just like you would do for cash or check at the end of the month. And then that gets credited. So you would tell me, okay, I got $400 in donations, 100 is for this project, and 200 is for this, and 50 should go there. And then we'll follow and do however you tell us to apply the money.
Okay. Could that come from Sue Kennedy as the board treasurer instead of from me, or should it come from me? Obviously Sue and I can work out.
What I could do is I can just create a library username and password.
Okay.
And you guys can decide who has access to that username and password, or I can do two separate if you prefer.
Okay.
And I can administer that at any time. So if things change hand, we can always, like if
Update
somebody
it.
on the board leaves and you want it to be someone else going forward, we can always remove one and create a new username. Yep.
Okay,
So-
great.
My question, tailing on to that, would be then we would have access to do a monthly treasurer's report for our monthly meetings that everyone is so excited.
Yes, you would be able to have a monthly report. In fact, Lisa would be able to we could do a revenue report. We can do similar to your budget reports, Tim, but on
Okay.
the revenue side
Yep.
and expenses. And then, she'll set up an account structure for you. I can send you, some departments, I just send them copies of the bank statements every month. And I reconcile them and they reconcile them. So we reconcile to each other, which I actually encourage. You have a second check that way. You don't have just one person seeing or viewing the money. You always want to have your checks and balances in place.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds-
Okay, and,
Cindy, Thomas, have any questions of Ms. Tierney?
this one might be for Cindy, actually. If we did this, that's our bank accounts. My other question, and I've tried looking all over because we're like a hybrid, which doesn't really exist. We've kind of made it up. But our other assets, the building, the books, the equipment, we get donations of historical stuff. And how do we deal with that? Do we? Right now, I'm aware, Cindy, that the past tax filings have only included our bank accounts and not our other assets. How would we do that going forward?
So as a municipality, you don't file taxes.
Okay.
I believe. Cindy, please chime in.
I'm not sure about municipalities. I know that as a 501c3, you have to file the 990.
Yes.
But that would be my question also is what happens when you're donated a painting or an object? Does that still come under the town or does that remain in the library?
So that's a very good question. I was addressing just the trust funds.
Right.
I can find that out for you.
Okay.
I would think if it's the libraries, it's the libraries, and then anything that the town has, provided would be separate.
So-
but I believe the library has like an autonomy where things are still theirs. And I don't think that would come under and change at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
That I'm aware of, but I'd be glad to run that by legal if you'd like.
If somebody gives us a $10,000 painting,
Mhm.
do we receive it as the town and keep it in the library and it's in a trust?
We receive it as the library and we keep it in the library. And
Yes.
we we give them a receipt
Yes.
that simply says that we have received this painting. They have to put the value on it themselves. We never put values on the things that are donated.
Yeah. So you're giving them a receipt. Yeah.
But then we would have to file taxes for that, right? To
Nope.
account for that?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
If they want to take it as a charitable donation, they have to put the value on it. They have to file. We don't.
If it was a practical matter, then we really wouldn't care what value they put on it. We don't have to concur with that
Right.
value. All right.
It's not on us. It's on them.
Well, that
Yeah.
would be income to us is what I'm thinking of, a non-cash donation.
So I don't think it would be income unless you sold them,
Okay.
because it's an object. It's not something. Yeah, I don't think that would be income.
It becomes an asset to the library. It doesn't have a value on it, because Cindy is right that you do not give them a value. They have to get it either appraised or they have to set their own value. If you sell it, that's a different story. Then you have to tell them how much you sold it for. And that becomes their contribution and that becomes taxable. But then it becomes a cash item.
Right.
So that it would go to the trust fund.
And Cindy, that would only be a situation we receive something almost like as a conduit, and we're going to sell it and realize the funds rather than the money. I'm sorry, rather than the value of the object, correct?
Correct. And the value the IRS considers is the maximum for a car is like $500. If you sell it for more than that, then you send the person a letter stating what you sold it for.
I see. Well, I mean, personally, I don't see the library getting into that
And we
type of arrangement, but we might.
Well, let me, if I can jump in here, Bob. I mean, the board certainly has, you guys have the ability to decide, in terms of an acquisitions policy, what, you'd be willing to accept or not. I mean, we can certainly investigate, some of these questions about, the building and, or what to do with, if somebody does give us something in the next couple of months, that's not money. But, yeah, I think, I think we can address a lot of these potential issues just by taking a look at, whatever acquisitions policy we currently have, and then, maybe making some tweaks and just saying, we just want the cash, just.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I just don't see people being so generous they're going to donate something for the sake of it being sold. But it is possible, and it may be more frequently done in the future. But
Yeah.
no, that's fine. Thank you. That's my question's been answered. Any other questions? I don't mean to rush everybody along, but I would like to get Ms. Turney back to her home duties, and of course we only got an hour, so I don't want to impose on Cindy Knox either. Any other questions?
Thank you very much, both Barbara and Cindy Thomas, for coming and
Yeah, I
answering.
know, really excellent point, Cindy. Thank you very much. Yeah, for everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you very much.
Thank
all
you
right.
both.
Thanks. Thank you,
Thanks.
ladies.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you very much.
How do I get it?
Now we've got on the agenda listed possible vote. Does anybody want to vote on this tonight, or does anybody want to wait and just think about it a little bit till next meeting? It's up to whatever you all want to do. Hello? Anybody? Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
we can hear you. I think everybody's thinking.
Sorry.
You want to just take a practice, see where everybody is standing, if anybody has an objection, which way they're leaning?
Let's
Yeah,
do
that's fine.
that.
Well, let's go down the list. Becky, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, let's see. My next person on the list was, oh God. My eyesight's really getting terrible here, but my so-called good eye. Uh, uh, Cindy Lavin, do you have any thoughts?
No, I'm in favor of doing it. I'll probably vote yes next time.
Okay. Deborah, any thoughts, anything you would like to say?
I'm in favor of it, and I think that unfortunately we should probably have an acquisitions committee
Okay. You're
for
gonna be the
future.
chair.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you. Lindy, Joseph Gray, any questions or comments or thoughts?
I'm in favor of having the town manage the funds.
Okay. Let's see. Sharon Salaski, any thoughts or questions?
I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Sue Kennedy, any thoughts or questions?
Yes, I think I'm in favor of it, and I love the donate button for the website.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
One of those ones that pops up and you can't get to the website until you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in favor of it too. Tim, any thoughts you have?
No, I think, I mean, I think it sounds like a good idea. And, you know, as I said before, I think we can, you know, once we get the funds sort of under the town's umbrella, we can, you know, we can work on the details around, you know, what does it mean for the building, or, you know, what does it mean for, you know, if we want to, you know, set up some different funds for the future, or whatever that may be. We can, you know, that can be hashed out, you know, in a policy discussion later on.
Okay, well, it occurs to me that if we took a vote making it effective, the transfer effective the end of the month, which is of course the end of the calendar year, not the fiscal year, it might be well timed, but if people don't feel comfortable and want to think about it, that's fine with me.
I think we're good for a vote, Bob.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I motion to vote.
Okay, Becky. All right, Becky makes a motion to transfer the funds into the town treasurer's office, mainly for bookkeeping purposes and record keeping, and to basically come under their umbrella of 501c3. Do I have a second?
Deborah seconds.
Deborah, second. Okay, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? I gotta do a roll call. Yeah, thank you. Becky Campana,
Aye.
Cindy Lavin,
Aye.
Deborah Faust Clancy,
Aye.
Lydia,
Cindy.
Joseph Gray.
Indeed.
Aye.
Okay, did I skip somebody? Sharon Salaski,
Aye.
Sue Kennedy,
Aye.
Bob Gardner votes aye. Okay, any opposition? No opposition, no abstention. All right, the motion carries. Tim, would you be kind enough maybe to call Ms. Turney tomorrow and just tell her we took the vote, and you know, we were making it, I guess, effective the first of the year, if that's good for her, and we can transfer everything down and see what's got to be done.
Okay, given that I think you and Sue have the sort of the signing authority over all that accounts. I'll certainly let Barbara know, but maybe if I could, I will let her know that maybe Sue will follow up with her about, you know, just the mechanics of making that happen.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, no, that's fine with me. I'm going to have my other eye operated on 2 weeks from today. So I'm going to have this patch flipped over to the other eye. Probably not the same patch, but I'll be available, Sue Kennedy, if you need me. Okay, thank you, everybody. Let's go back to that item I kind of skipped over, announcements about Wi-Fi and curbside shed. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'll make this relatively quick. So we have got the Wi-Fi hotspots circulating. We've started advertising them around, and I believe we have one of the 6 tablet devices is out on loan, and 2 of the hotspots are out on loan. And that I think we got them sort of out circulating and advertised them starting it was the Friday before Thanksgiving. So we had a few days last week where people could borrow, and then a couple of days this week. And so we've loaned out 3 devices so far.
Great.
So that's good to see happening. And then the curbside shed is actually, I just got this call Tuesday. Eastern Shed Company will be sending a crew here a week from today, sometime between 10 and 12. They will unload the pieces of the shed, and their crew will put it up in about 2 hours. So by the end of the day next Thursday, we should have our curbside shed at least set up outside the main entrance. We're gonna, once we get it here, we've got a tentative plan to put some shelving in it to make give us a lot of space to put people's holds out there, and that should make it a lot easier for us to proceed going forward this winter. We've not been using the tent nearly as much, just because the weather has been a little blustery, a little rough lately. So we've been just using setting up a table in the entranceway itself of the main entrance, and that's been a little awkward and maybe may not be up to fire code either, but don't tell anybody about that. So our hope our expectation going forward, after the shed gets here next week, is that we will be able to put all of our holds outside. People will be able to pop up and get them, and we can still have people that need to come in and send a fax or something like that, where they might need to wait for a few minutes. They can still wait in the entryway where there's some shelter and it's a little warm. So having the shed will make that operation a lot easier as well. So we're very, very much looking forward to it.
So December 10th, between 10 and 12, we want to come down and watch the construction, correct?
Right.
Come down.
If you've got little kids, I mean, they may like seeing the big truck come in and unload the parts, and they've pre-assembled part of the shed. So I think it's just a matter of putting the pieces on a dolly and pushing them up the sidewalk ramp until they get up to the spot, and then banging it all together. So
well, I would enjoy that. I don't know if I'll make it.
I'll see how much we can video record of the whole process. Maybe we put it up on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
And I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have like a future plan for when COVID hopefully is squashed, what you will do with the shed after the fact?
As a matter of fact, I do. So, I mean, I actually expect that we and probably a lot of other libraries are going to continue to do curbside pickup in some form for a while, like even after the vaccines are readily available. I think, it's one of those things that people will have gotten somewhat accustomed to, and some people will still want to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Whether that happens inside the library building or outside, remains to be seen down the road. But my thought, at least for the shed, was that, if we no longer needed it for the curbside stuff, I would have it moved just maybe to the far end of the parking lot, because we could certainly use more storage space for, just odds and ends for programming. I mean, we have, just some garden tools and other things that, we kind of have stashed in corners in the basement right now that we could certainly put in the shed for storage, or if some other opportunity presents itself where we can, if we have other things, big sort of outdoor things that people might want to borrow, like garden tools or something like that, maybe we keep them there. But the shed should be durable enough to allow us to move it, put it on another part of the property, and continue to use it if we, when and if we no longer need it for curbside pickup right by the entrance.
Excellent. And then is it going to be locked when the library is not in operation? Like, will you be locking it up?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking at the moment. That it'll be open, all day when we're here, and then we'll put a lock on the outside door at the end of the day. At some point down the road, we may toy with the idea of either having like a some sort of a storage locker unit or something maybe attached to the shed that, we could give people after hours access to, but that's something still kind of in the planning stages, or the dream stages right now, I guess.
All right. Thank you so much, Tim.
Sure.
Tim, did you say what size the shed is? And if you did, apologies that I wasn't paying attention.
No, I did not. It is going to be 8 by 10.
Okay, thanks.
And it's going to fit. If you're familiar with the front of the library, we're going to have to move the book drop that's right outside the main entrance and the bike rack that's there. But there is enough space for an 8 by 10 shed to sit just to the left of the main entrance as you're looking at it.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or anything else about the shed or the Wi-Fi hotspots? Okay. Why don't we move on? Again, trying to keep track of time here. It's got about 6. I'm sorry. So we've got the fiscal year 2022 library operating budget request discussion and vote possibly. All right. I know, Tim, you've sent that out. I quite honestly am not able to read that today. It's just, my eyesight is such, and with the patch on and whatever, it's so tiny I didn't even try to enlarge it. But
I've
have a discussion.
I've just put it up on the screen now. Can everybody see the sort of the spreadsheet, more or less?
Yeah, if you could make it a little bit bigger, Tim, that would be great.
Let's see. I think we can do that.
Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay.
If you can make it even bigger, that would be greater.
Well, let me see if I can do that and still get all of it on the screen in one go. I think that might be about it. All right.
That's it.
That's good. Thank you. Tim, why don't you give us a little overview of the whole situation?
So basically what we're doing is this is the third sort of budget process that I've been involved with, and the instructions have been the same for the last couple of years. We're starting off with our FY22 request over here on the next to the last column on the right. Is basically starts. This is what was appropriated for the library at town meeting this past year for fiscal 21. So the instructions are essentially to start with a level funded budget. Don't put any salary increases or anything like that in there unless they are sort of mandated. I mean, ours are kind of tied to. Performance and cost of living adjustment. So cost of living adjustments usually get factored in the spring because the town accounting and finance department and HR and everybody has to do some figuring. So after the initial budget presentations, after the initial budget requests are submitted in December, numbers start to get crunched and other expenses like health insurance and everything else get figured out over the January, February, March until there is a kind of a final number for everybody that goes into the warrant for town meeting. So what has happened in the years past, I've started with the level funding, and then we've added basically the only increases we've had are the the salary increases for staff. So we've been able to more or less maintain the maintenance on the building and levels of supplies and that sort of thing with the money that that we have. The other thing that does go up every year is the line for the library materials, the books, audiovisual, magazines, all that stuff. This is the 54,000 line. And that number gets figured after we know what the salary increases are going to be, what that final salary number is. So sometime in the spring, we put all the other expenses together, and that gives us, there's a formula for figuring out what the minimum amount the library should spend for that year happens to be. in order for us to maintain our participation in the libraries, in the Massachusetts State Aid to Public Libraries program.
So Tim had a question about that because it says down there in the chart that it has to be at least 19% of the total.
Right.
It sounds like you're talking about something, and I don't know how strict they are, but that amount is 36 cents short. I don't know if they're that strict.
Okay.
Also, if anything else changed.
My understanding, typically where it's a matter of $1 either way, it's not a big deal. It's round up or round down depending on where the number lands. But
if anything changed, that would be off.
Right. So that's the target number that we have, and that's based on, well, if memory serves, I mean, once the money is appropriated at town meeting, even if there are cuts, that take place after the fact, you're still, well, I don't think I shouldn't say anything because I'm not 100% sure, and things are really up in the air right now as far as MBLC and what they are, what they're hearing from a lot of libraries, with concerns about being able to meet the state's, current spending requirements with COVID. The state did, I mean, they were, essentially they gave everybody a pass for, for the rest of this past fiscal year, FY 2020, when everybody got shut down in March. MBLC basically said, don't worry, you guys have, we're not going to penalize anybody for not meeting, the number of hours you should have been open or the amount of money you should have spent or anything like that. Everybody's okay. We understand that this is like, something that's completely out of everybody's control and nobody's going to be penalized for that. So, I mean, it remains to be seen, how things go, well, not only for FY22, but for the fiscal year we're in right now, because as most of you know, we still don't, I don't think we quite have a state budget yet for this year. So, that the state budget is where a lot of that library funding, the state aid money comes from, and where a lot of support for library networks like RCWMR's network and, other sort of statewide institutions comes from. So it's looking pretty good still funding wise for this current fiscal year. But, the state legislature and the governor still have to pass, like I said, a budget for this current fiscal year. And then typically in January, they start working on the budget for what would be our FY, 22, more or less. So there's a lot of stuff that will be up in the air.
A lot of moving parts.
Right. And the other thing that I added to this spreadsheet, which was not in the one I passed around in November, was this municipal appropriation requirement. So that's the number that, again, if you want to participate in the library state aid program, be eligible for LSTA grants and, all sorts of other sort of resource sharing opportunities and funding from the state, they require each municipality to, contribute a minimum amount to the library every year. And there's a formula for that, which is, based on what you've been appropriating for the previous 3 years. Take those numbers, average them out, and then add 2.5% to that average number. And that's the minimum amount that they would like to see Ayer spend or appropriate for FY22. I should say appropriate, not spend.
Yeah. Tim, are we eligible for those grants, notwithstanding the fact that we don't have a strategic plan yet?
We would not be eligible for LSTA grants, but we still are eligible for and receive, the direct state aid payments of about, $11,000 a year lately. And then of course, we benefit from being able to have access to a lot of sort of electronic resources, databases for, basically no cost to us, so we can provide them to the patrons because the state is picking up the tab for those sorts of things.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Just for my own edification, what's our deadline? We don't, as I understand, we don't have to actually vote tonight on the budget.
Well, actually, I'd like to get a vote tonight because I do have to hand in the preliminary request tomorrow. The town has moved the deadline up to December 4th of this year. So what I'd like to do is have the board, essentially okay this number, but with the understanding that as we go into the winter months, into early spring, it will increase a little bit, assuming that we can do our traditional salary adjustments for the staff. And if we can, if I did a quick calculation this afternoon, if the COLA for town employees is set at 2%, that will bump the wages number up by about $4,000, which in turn will bump the materials budget up by about $2,500, which will mean that the bottom line will be a $622,600 or something like that. So we will meet that municipal appropriation requirement for FY22. So the big question, though, in my mind, of course, is, well, are there going to be COLAs? Are they going to be at 2%? We don't know that.
Yeah. So.
Can I just make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I was concerned about this earlier, so I chatted with Tim, and he did tell me that he checked his figures with a woman by the name of Quinn at the MBLC. And basically, if you take the last 3 years of appropriations and you add them up, and then you get an average figure and divide by that figure in order to get your 2.5% that is required, not recommended by the MBLC, you get his exact figure. I checked his math. I'm sure you did too, Sue. But anyway, so all I'm saying is I think Tim has his I's dotted and his T's crossed, and take that for what it's worth.
Is there any reason that we shouldn't just vote on it tonight? Is there anything that still needs to be thought through? I mean, this looks fine to me.
I would like to comment, though. Maybe I missed it earlier, but I first saw the email about noon, and in the future, stuff with so many numbers. There were 3 pages altogether to go through the numbers and really be able to get a good feel for it. I love to have stuff a couple days ahead of time.
Yeah, I understand, Sue.
Want to vote on the same night.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I apologize for that. In the future, I will do my best to get these things out earlier. It's just everything has kind of been compressed a little bit this year with COVID, and just it's been a little hectic. So, but yeah, I definitely hear you, and I if I were in your shoes, I would not want to get something like this right, with hours to go before a meeting either. So I do apologize for that.
But I'm good to go. I did get it done, but some days I'm not able to clear off and just spend looking at numbers. So, but
Understood.
That's if everybody else is.
So I move to vote on the operation budget as it stands right now, with the understanding that it's going to change when we've got the hard figures for the other line items.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All right,
Sharon.
so Becky Campener moves and Sharon Slavsky seconds. Okay, any discussion, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, I'll do the roll call. Becky Campana,
Aye.
Cindy Lavin,
Aye.
Deborah Faust Clancy,
Aye.
Lydia Joseph Gray,
Aye.
Sharon Salowski,
Aye.
Sue Kennedy,
Aye.
Bob Gardner will vote aye. All right, any negatives, any extensions? Hearing none, the vote passes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All
Thank
right,
you, Tim.
so let's see now. We've got oh my goodness, I think
So
I've got
we
4.5 minutes to go here. Got some old business, strategic plan, and then finance, insurance coverage, and then any new business. Tim, would you like to update us on the strategic plan? I know you and I had a discussion. You said you talked to Becky about it.
Yep. Yeah, and Becky and I talked again between last meeting and this one, just with the, I sort of expressed my concerns, and I think she was concerned also about, just being able to do, any kind of realistic, data collection, especially right now, given how the COVID rates are. But that said, I wanted to touch base with a couple of the advisors at the Massachusetts library system who work with libraries that are, trying to do strategic plans. And I have a phone appointment next Tuesday with Michelle Eberly at the Mass Library System, who I've talked with before. She presents, workshops for libraries on strategic planning, and also does occasional, some facilitation work. So she told me that MLS is actually working on some workshops, some training ideas for libraries to accomplish their data collection and get their plans done during COVID. So that's something they're working on right now, and so I'm looking forward to getting some information from her on Tuesday about how we might proceed. But this, we probably, again, now that we have the budget out of the way, at least, I think we'll be able to focus a little bit more on, the strategic plan, and just, putting some dates on the calendar to when we might be able to, do some meetings, do some surveys. Michelle she wasn't concerned that, at least at this point, that we would be running out of time. She sort of felt that we wouldn't necessarily even need to start until, February, March, and we'd still be okay. Again, it's sort of how much time you can clear, to get the work done. But like I said, I'm going to get some more information from her on Tuesday, and then I'll let Becky know what I learn, and we can continue to talk about next steps at that point.
Okay, thank you very much. Becky, anything you want to add or say?
I just want to add, of course, we're also under the whole open law, or the open meeting. It's like, can a subcommittee get together without, public knowledge? Does it have to be on Zoom? Can we get together and, meet safely at the library? So that's another thing that we're looking into as well. How can we even meet?
Yeah, okay, no, that's a good point.
And it looks like, it actually looks like I did forward, just turns out that Maura Dede from MBLC just happened to forward a newsletter from the Attorney General's office that kind of addressed the question of subcommittees and open meeting law directly. And the answer seems to be that yes, if it's an official subcommittee of a board, then it does have to meet open meeting law requirements. So I haven't read the full thing, but that was the gist that I got from it. But that's, again, that's something we'll continue to work on.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, if not, I'd just like to move on to the last item.
Sure. So yeah, about the fine arts insurance coverage. So Deborah asked this question, I think, back in October, what the story was. I had reached out to Carly Antonellis at Town Hall back in the summer. They were going to put the library artworks on the town's insurance policy, but it turns out that the insurance company never sent anybody an invoice. But Carly followed up last week, and we got the invoice and the adjusted policy. So I've received that. I just submitted the invoice for payment this week. So we're going to be paying $56 for about $36,000 in coverage for the artwork based on the appraisal that Skinner did. So
that's pretty good.
So that should be all taken care of.
Yeah,
That's $56 well spent.
Yeah.
absolutely. Deborah, absolutely. I appreciate
There you go.
that. All right, thank you very much. If no other questions, I guess we have to pick what's our next board meeting.
So I've tentatively I talked with Carly about some future dates, and it looks like if we want to go back to like third Thursdays, we can do Thursday, January. Oh gosh, now my calendar doesn't. 21st.
I got my calendar on, Tim.
Thank you. So Thursdays, unfortunately, it turns out that we have the Conservation Commission that typically meets on the first, they typically meet on Thursdays, and also the Parks Commission. But if we met at 5 to 5:30 on those dates, we could, in most cases, we would be able to meet on the third Thursday as sort of a regular meeting. It would just mean starting a little bit early.
But Tim, you mean 5 to 6, right? We won't get any business done in 30 minutes.
No, right. I'm sorry. The start time would be like 5 or 5:30.
Oh,
so,
okay. And then for the hour. Okay.
Yeah. So then we'd have an hour starting at either 5 or 5:30.
Okay.
Work much better than 5.
Yeah, I mean, the 5, well, I don't know. It's immaterial to me, but I like the idea of having some regularity. Does anybody else have any thoughts about the time that?
The other, let me just throw in the other thing that we could do. According to Carly, the first Thursday of every month is usually open. So, but that would be, I mean, that, we could do that as, as a regular date, and have, more or less, it sounds like our pick of times.
The first Thursday sounds great. Then we're not so constrained. I mean, 6 o'clock works much better for me, but if 5 or 5:30 is best,
Right.
that works fine too. I would only say for January, the first, it's later because January 1st is on Friday, so it would be the 7th. So I mean that's fine by me.
Well, I guess what I would suggest is that if we go with the 21st at like 5:30 for January, then I can get back in touch with Carly and just see about, maybe moving it to the first Thursday after that, and just look at what those dates look like, and we can put it in for at least. I mean, does 6 o'clock work for everybody generally, or would later be better if we could do it?
Earlier is better.
Earlier, okay.
Right here, I saw an agreement, at least January 21st, 2021 at what time?
So that would be, we'd do it at 5:30.
5:30. Is that tentatively agreeable with everybody?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it's great. Yep.
Well,
I do-
April falls on April Fools, so.
All right, well, we won't go that far.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. All right, I don't think we need a vote on that. That's just what we'll pick.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah. I'll confirm that with Carly.
2021, and Tim will confirm it at 5:30. All right, thanks, everybody. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about or whatever?
No, I wish everybody a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much, and I do too, and I wish
Thanks,
everybody.
Becky, yeah. Same to everybody.
Yeah, I have 2 eyes working by then.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to you, Bob, for toughing this out. I mean,
Yeah.
I let nobody say that, you're unwilling to like give your all for, for the things that you commit to. Gee whiz.
Oh, thank you, Tim. A little secret. I was talking to the nurse up at the Livingston Hospital, and I said, I got a Zoom meeting tonight I got to conduct. She said, really, what is it? And she said, it's I told her it's the library. So she said her significant other was on the Livingston board. I said, oh, do you know Tim Silver? She said, yes. But I didn't have the heart to ask her her name. So I don't know. If you have a fan, she spoke very highly of you up there. But she did caution me, don't sell the library tonight. I'm not supposed to make any significant legal decisions, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yes, and I echo what Becky said, and I'm sure everybody else does. Good health, a happy, prosperous new year, and a wonderful Christmas, and stay safe and do the best you can as far as seeing relatives. All right,
Yeah.
thanks, everybody.
All right, I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, any second?
So moved.
Okay, I guess we got to do a roll call vote. Oh my God, Becky.
Aye.
Cindy,
Hi
you vote
from
yes?
Deborah.
Okay. Cindy votes aye. Let's see, who's next? Oh, I got to put my glasses back on. I should get a monocle here. Deborah Faust.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Liddy.
Aye.
Christopher Gray. Sharon Salaski.
Aye.
Sue Kennedy.
Aye.
Bob Gardner, aye. No abstentions, no negatives. God bless everybody. See you next year.